Hey everyone, Branden back in time for more Branden's Boy Problems. And today's episode is about I finally got on PrEP. It's been something I've wanted to do for years now, ever since I heard about Truvada slash PrEP. As you should know, it's a daily pill you take every day, and it helps prevent you from getting HIV. It's like over 99% effective. Like there haven't been any reported cases of anyone really getting on PrEP and becoming HIV positive, and it's a drug that's used to prevent HIV, which is amazing, especially with living in Atlanta, where Georgia in itself is the state that has the most people living with HIV, and then Atlanta has ridiculous, like, astronomical HIV rates, especially since it's a heavy, like, black gay populated area. And the CDC did predict years ago that 1 out of every 2 black gay men will become HIV positive, and that's honestly just terrified me. And just like growing up watching like movies about AIDS and HIV, it's always made me like terrified of anal sex and like having sex. And like I do think PrEP helps become less scared of sex, and that's something that I really wanted to do, especially since even in my last relationship, like I could not like have sex with my boyfriend without being like terrified, and especially just knowing that, like, well, yeah, that might seem racist, but just like it's scarier, I guess, having sex with a black gay man when you're told like half will have or have HIV, especially in Atlanta, which has one of the top 5 HIV rates in the country, and then the population is mostly black gay men, and just like it's terrifying out here. It's just like I don't want to be a statistic myself and become another black gay man infected with HIV. And also being on PrEP helps alleviate stigma associated with HIV, because now you can have sex freely, and like people do want to like judge people that are on PrEP and be like, you're a Truvada whore, like you're just gonna have raw sex with people. But I honestly feel like, the only problem why people don't have raw sex is because they don't want to get an STD, especially something incurable and deadly like HIV, AIDS, and also you don't want to get pregnant. And when you're gay, like you don't have to worry about getting pregnant, but still like you want to make sure that you are protecting yourself. And I don't think there's anything wrong with having unprotected sex as long as you don't walk away with an STD or HIV or something that you can't cure, which is why people do have condoms. But honestly, like nobody likes condoms, nobody wants to use condoms, like they aren't natural. Like you weren't born wanting to stick a condom on your dick to like have sex. Like that prevents like feeling and pleasure, and like it is for your protection. And I do think condoms are personally important and necessary. Like I have a giant bag of them myself, so I do like to make sure I have condoms and whatever. And I do think that even though I am on PrEP, I am still scared to at least bottom while having unprotected sex. I have had raw sex with a guy I just met that night, and I was the top, but he's on PrEP too, so it did make me feel more comfortable and safe. And I know it's still not safe, like he's still getting an STD and whatnot, but like nobody wants to live life like with fear. Like fear is what has prevented me from wanting to have sex at all my entire life. Like I'm going to be 28 this month, and just like I've always been scared to have anal sex because it's painful, it's time consuming, it's not like easy, it's hard to do, it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of preparation, mental preparation, physical preparation, hygienic preparation. So anal sex has never been easy for me, but having PrEP does make me feel more comfortable and safe. I honestly don't even think I've bottomed for anyone since I've been on PrEP. And weirdly, I'm only on like my 2nd month on it, and so it is still pretty new for me. And I guess I've only had sex maybe once, and I was a top, but I do feel better and I do feel more protected and safe, because honestly, like there was always a nagging paranoia and fear every time I ever had a sexual encounter, just to be like, oh my god, am I infected? Did I get HIV? Like did I get it from orally? Did I get it from whatever? And now it's like on PrEP, like you can feel like I can have sex and not be scared of the consequences, at least in getting HIV. You still, like, PrEP does not prevent you from getting, like, syphilis, gonorrhea, anything, whatnot, and, like, those things are still dangerous and out there. Like, there's, like, drug-resistant strain of gonorrhea out there, which is terrifying in itself, so now it's like, no, you can't get rid of condoms. It's also like, would you rather take your chances with gonorrhea or AIDS? So, it is hard. I know it's like, you're not ever supposed to ever say, like, I had unprotected sex and I liked it, just be like, condom, safe sex, blah, 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 but it's like, the reality situation is people aren't having safe sex, and that's why people are like getting infected and infecting others and not getting tested regularly, because they just want to be able to live their lives without the fear. Well, honestly, I do think that's stupid. Like, you have to get tested, and you need to get tested like every 3 months, especially if you are sexually active, and like especially living somewhere like Atlanta where HIV is out of control. Honestly, the entire South, HIV is where it's hit hardest. So this is definitely the place to get it, and like you can easily get PrEP for free. So definitely just look into it. Find out providers. Like, you literally, all you do is get tested, see if your body can handle it, and then you have to get tested regularly to see how your body's reacting to it to make sure it's good for you. But honestly, like, it's the best thing ever. Like, you literally just take a pill every single day and you don't have to worry about HIV anymore. And I still think, like, yes, you still have to worry about other STDs, you still have to protect yourself, but still, like, when you don't have to worry about HIV, which is really much the biggest one, like, millions of gay men lost their lives, like, 2 decades ago because of HIV and AIDS. So it's like, you are now part of the generation that you don't have to worry about this. Like, you can have a future, you can have a life. And also, like, being on PrEP, you can date someone that is HIV positive, and that can expand your dating pool. I do still think that requires more education and comfort, because it's not just like, oh wow, I'm on PrEP, I'm gonna go date someone that's positive. But then again, it's like, most of the guys that are positive don't even know they're positive because they're out here living recklessly and don't get tested regularly. So it is important that we all, as a community, get on PrEP if you can. Like, it really is accessible and affordable, and you can do it. Just don't live your life in fear. Like, don't become another statistic and become positive when you have the opportunity to protect yourself and prevent yourself from ever having to be diagnosed as HIV positive. So I do feel amazing that I am on PrEP, and I do think I want to be more sexual and definitely can have less fear when I want to bottom and whatnot. I still am like adjusting and getting used to it, like, especially since I haven't had that much sex since I've been on it. I mean, yeah, I still had lots of like oral sex, but still, like, it hasn't really made me be like, yeah, come fuck me raw. Like, it hasn't changed who I am as a person, which I do think is probably the biggest takeaway. It's like, once you're on PrEP, like, yes, you can feel less stigma free, but it's still like a lot of like mental and psychological steps you have to go through to actually like become truly like stigma free. Because I honestly feel like, yeah, I'm on PrEP, like, I really could date someone that's HIV positive, but it's still like, I feel like I still have that stigma, I guess, associated with, it's risky, what if something happens, like, what if something goes wrong? And then it's also like, I don't know, I just had this like imagining, like, okay, you're dating a guy, so it's actually like a fuckboy, and it's like, am I really gonna be crying or upset about an HIV positive guy? Like, what if he's out there cheating on me? It's like, why would I want to put up with that? Like, but yeah, that's like an personal stigma I have to get over, and like, I plan on getting over that eventually. But I do think that being on PrEP is amazing, and I definitely recommend it for literally every HIV negative, sexual, gay man. Like, you can't even trust these men out here. So I feel like, even if you're in a relationship, like, you don't know if he's cheating, if you are worried that your partner's not even faithful, and even if you're had this slightest inkling, like, you should just protect yourself anyway. Like, you never know what could be going on behind your back, so protect yourself, because it's always up to you to protect yourself. People lie, people scheme, steal, whatever. People aren't taking care of themselves, people aren't getting tested regularly. You have to protect yourself, test yourself, and get tested. Thanks for joining me for more Branden's Boy Problems.